Why does our universe exist exactly the way it does? It's basically the ultimate Goldilocks question. But instead of just asking why conditions happen to be perfectly tuned for life, what if we asked a way more fundamental question? Why is our specific reality even capable of persisting in the first place, rather than, say, instantly dissolving right back into quantum noise? Welcome back to The Explainer. I am so thrilled to take you through this material today because we are diving deep into a core paper known as Modal Theory version 11, along with its companion framework, General Emergence Mechanics. Together, these sources provide a radically different, geometrically constrained answer to the hidden mechanics of reality. They propose that the universe isn't just some random accident, but a highly specific, mathematically determined attractor. So, here is our roadmap for today. 1. The three-basin multiverse. 2. The 255-degree attractor. 3. Mechanics of stable existence. 4. Time, gravity, and life. And finally, 5. Beyond our infinite walls. Let's get right into it. Starting with Section 1, the three-basin multi-universe and the idea of a constrained reality. All right, to really understand our universe, we have to look at modal theory. Modal theory proposes a geometrically constrained framework where the underlying structure, what physicists call a Z3 orbifold, which is essentially this highly specific folded geometry of space, strictly limits the multiverse to exactly 3 real geometrically distinct configurations, or vacuum basins. So it doesn't produce some infinite mess of possibilities, it produces exactly 3. When we compare modal theory to other popular ideas out there, a really stark contrast emerges. String theory allows for 10 to the power of 500 different possible universes. That is a 1 with 500 zeros after it. A lot of people argue that makes it completely unfalsifiable. Then you have eternal inflation, which gives us infinite bubble universes, with a massive probability problem. But modal theory? Exactly 3 determined vacuum basins. It's elegant, it's highly constrained, and honestly, it's mathematically exact. Which brings us to Section 2, the 255-degree attractor. Our cosmic home. 255 degrees. This is the exact vacuum phase of our universe. But, why 255? Well, in modal theory, a mechanism called a chiral bias term, think of it as a built-in mathematical asymmetry, or a cosmic twist, naturally breaks the perfect symmetry between those 3 basins we just talked about. It tilts the whole landscape, making the 255-degree phase the unique, dynamically selected global minimum. It's the ultimate attractor anchoring our entire observable universe. And because of that chiral bias, our 255-degree basin is the absolute deepest of the 3 wells. The 60-degree and 180-degree basins still exist as mathematically real relics for sure, but they are shallower. Because our basin is the deepest, it has the widest range of stable configurations. It's literally the only one capable of supporting the incredibly rich complexity needed for chemistry, biology, and ultimately, well, us. Let's move on to Section 3, Mechanics of Stable Existence, focusing on General Emergence Mechanics. Okay, so to explain how things actually persist, the source material introduces General Emergence Mechanics, or GEM for short. GEM treats our 255-degree universe as a dynamical coherence shell governed by 3 mechanical axes. First, you have depth, which is the energy barrier protecting a system from being destroyed. Then there's stiffness, the immediate elastic resistance to being disturbed. And finally, viscosity, or relaxation time, which is basically just how fast the system recovers. Jointly, these 3 axes write the physical rules for what gets to exist inside our universe. Now, this is absolutely crucial. It's all about the persistence threshold. This threshold explains the literal difference between fleeting quantum ghosts and stable reality. Virtual particles are really just transient excitations. They get perturbed, but they fail to persist longer than the shell's relaxation time. Stable matter, on the other hand, consists of configurations that actually meet that threshold. So the difference between empty space and solid matter, it is strictly a matter of mechanical persistence. Section 4, Time, Gravity, and Life. Let's see the 255-degree attractor in action. Think about the arrow of time for a second. In this framework, time isn't just some fundamental, invisible backdrop that the universe happens to sit inside. Not at all. Instead, time actually emerges locally from the finite viscosity relaxation of the coherence shell itself. The forward march of time is literally the directional relaxation of our reality toward that preferred 255-degree minimum. We experience time because our universe is constantly settling into its lowest energy posture. How wild is that? And the explanatory power of these mechanics is just staggering across so many domains. Under GEM, gravity isn't just curved geometry. It emerges because mass creates deep persistence gradients in the shell, which physically attracts other configurations. In Darwinian evolution, random mutation is just the stochastic exploration of persistence space, and natural selection, that's the coherence filter. Even in biology, your body's homeostasis relies entirely on having enough depth to absorb shocks, enough stiffness to resist injury, and low enough viscosity to recover quickly. It even leads to these fascinating bioengineering concepts. The source material outlines something called a biological coherence pod. It's a conceptual body-scale chamber designed to artificially regulate those environmental shell axes we just talked about: depth, stiffness, and viscosity. By creating a highly structured, low-noise local shell around a resting human subject, we could theoretically test if these cosmic persistence mechanics can be applied practically to accelerate human physiological recovery. That would be a real game-changer.
Section 5. Beyond our infinite walls. The interbasin boundary.
Remember those other two universes, the 60-degree and 180-degree basins? Well, they aren't unreachable because they are billions of light years away in spatial distance. No, they are unreachable because crossing over requires overcoming an infinite persistence depth barrier. No persistent configuration in our universe has the energy to climb out of our 255-degree well and tunnel into theirs. So the walls of our universe aren't made of space. They are literally made of infinite mathematical depth. Which leads us to this incredibly refined ontological boundary from the source texts. I absolutely love this quote. Outside our universe lies either that which fails to persist long enough to become a thing, or that which persists in a geometrically distinct vacuum basin. I mean, talk about an absolute philosophical mic drop summarizing the mathematically proven limits of our existence.
So I'm going to leave you with this. We exist because our specific 255-degree attractor provides the deepest, most stable conditions for our particles to resist the noise and just persist. As we continue to persist within our highly constrained coherent shell, what deeper hidden mechanics of reality are we finally coherent enough to discover next? Keep seeking, keep learning, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.